Little Bobo loved sunsets. Every evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, he would find a quiet spot to sit and watch the sky transform. The colors were like a magical painting, with hues of orange, pink, and purple blending together in a mesmerizing display. Bobo felt a sense of peace during these moments, as if the world was giving him a warm hug. They painted the sky in colors he wished he had. Bobo often imagined what it would be like to have a coat as vibrant as the sunset. He thought maybe, just maybe, if he were more colorful, he wouldn't feel so invisible. The other animals might notice him more and he wouldn't feel so alone. Bobo was a small elephant with grey skin, and even greyer days he felt lonely. Despite the beauty of the sunsets, a deep sadness lingered in his heart. He longed for companionship, someone to share these beautiful moments with. The other animals seemed to have friends, but Bobo always found himself on the outside looking in.
Toot toot! Bobo would play his little trumpet, a leaf he had fashioned into an instrument. The sound echoed through the trees, a melancholic tune that mirrored his feelings. He hoped that maybe, just maybe, someone would hear his music and come to find him.
The sound was as sad as his heart. Each note carried the weight of his loneliness, drifting through the air like a whisper. Bobo played with all his might, pouring his emotions into the music, hoping it would reach someone who understood. Bobo wished for a friend to share the sunset with. He imagined sitting side by side with someone, watching the sky change colors together. They would talk about their dreams, their fears, and everything in between. The thought of having a friend made his heart ache even more. Someone who wouldn't mind his clumsy trunk or laugh when he tripped. Bobo was often embarrassed by his awkwardness. His trunk seemed to have a mind of its own, knocking things over and getting in the way. He dreamed of a friend who would accept him just as he was, clumsiness and all. Someone to chase fireflies with. Bobo loved the way fireflies lit up the night, their tiny lights flickering like stars. He imagined running through the fields with a friend, laughing and trying to catch the glowing insects. It would be a perfect end to a perfect day. He sighed, the sound a low rumble in the quiet evening. The weight of his loneliness felt heavier as the sun disappeared, leaving the sky dark and empty. Bobo's sigh was filled with longing, a silent plea for companionship. Where could he find a friend like that? Bobo looked around, his eyes scanning the horizon for any sign of another soul. The world felt vast and empty, but he held on to a glimmer of hope. Maybe, just maybe, tomorrow would bring a new friend into his life. Until then, he would keep playing his trumpet, letting the music carry his dreams into the night. The next day, Bobo followed a winding path. It led him to a sparkling waterfall. The water roared and crashed, yet it sounded like whispers to Bobo's ears.
Find the light, where rainbows sleep.
Bobo tilted his head, confused but curious. What did it mean? He dipped his trunk into the cool water. It tickled, sending shivers down his back. Maybe the waterfall held the answer to his wish. Bobo closed his eyes and thought of his wish. He wanted a friend, a true friend. Taking a deep breath, he blew air into the waterfall, creating a chain of shimmering bubbles. Each bubble held a piece of his wish. They floated up, up, up towards the sunlight streaming through the waterfall. As the light touched the bubbles, they burst, filling the air with a sweet, fruity scent. The waterfall giggled.
Look closely, look closely. I'm Bobo. Bobo couldn't believe it. This magical fish came from his wish. Hello, I'm Shimmer. You blew me the most wonderful wish bubbles. What's your name? Bobo gasped. A tiny fish with scales that shimmered like 1,000 rainbows danced in the air. It had bright, curious eyes and fins that fluttered like butterfly wings.
Come on, Bobo, the water is perfect. You have to try it. It's like nothing you've ever experienced before. The water is cool and refreshing, and you'll feel so light and free. Trust me, you'll love it.
Bobo was hesitant at first, his large feet barely touching the water's edge. He had never been in such deep water before, and the idea of floating seemed strange to him. But Shimmer's laughter was contagious, filling the air with a sense of joy and adventure. It was hard to resist such infectious enthusiasm.
Okay, here goes nothing. I've never done this before, but I trust you, Shimmer. Here I come.
He carefully stepped into the pool, feeling the cool water rise around his legs. It was a strange sensation, but not unpleasant. With each step, he felt a little braver, a little more excited about what was to come. To his surprise, he felt light, buoyant. The water seemed to lift him up, making him feel almost weightless. It was a feeling he had never experienced before, and it filled him with a sense of wonder and delight.
See? I told you. It's amazing, right? The water makes you feel like you're flying. You can move so easily, and everything feels so different down here. It's like a whole new world.
Shimmer zipped around him, trailing shimmering bubbles that sparkled in the sunlight. The bubbles danced and twirled, creating a magical scene that made Bobo feel like he was part of a beautiful underwater ballet. He felt a joy he hadn't felt in a long time. The water was cool and refreshing, and the sensation of floating was exhilarating. He laughed and played, feeling more alive than he had in years.
This is incredible, Shimmer! I never knew the water could be so much fun. Thank you for convincing me to try it. I feel like a whole new elephant.
They played for hours, their laughter echoing through the jungle. The other animals watched in amazement, inspired by Bobo's bravery and Shimmer's infectious joy. It was a day none of them would ever forget. Bobo felt like he was dancing in an underwater ballet, his heart as light as the bubbles Shimmer blew. The experience had changed him, filling him with a newfound sense of confidence and happiness. He knew that from this day forward he would never be afraid to try new things again. Section 6, The Starry Sea.
The stars are beautiful tonight.
Bobo whispered, his voice filled with awe. He'd never realized how much he'd been missing.
They are just like our friendship. Even though we are different, we shine together.
Section 7, The Gift of Laughter. Bobo laughed, a deep rumble that shook his whole body. He no longer felt grey. Shimmer's friendship had painted his world with vibrant colours. He realized that true friends accept you for who you are, clumsiness and all. They bring laughter and light into your life, even on the greyest days.
Thank you, Shimmer, for being my friend.
Section 8, A Forever Friend. As the sun rose, it was time for Shimmer to return to her home behind the waterfall. Bobo felt a pang of sadness, but he knew their friendship wouldn't fade.
I'll come back and visit every day, Bobo. We'll have so many more adventures.
Bobo nodded, his heart full. He knew he'd never be truly lonely again. He had found a friend, a forever friend. Section 9, A Rainbow Promise. Bobo walked back towards his baobab tree, a new spring in his step. The sun was setting, casting a golden hue over the savannah, and the sky was painted with shades of orange and pink. Bobo felt a warmth in his heart that he hadn't felt in a long time. The baobab tree, with its thick trunk and sprawling branches, stood tall and majestic, a silent witness to the many stories of the land. He no longer felt sad, for he carried Shimmer's friendship in his heart. Shimmer, the tiny, glowing creature he had met by the river, had shown him the true meaning of friendship. They had spent the day exploring, laughing, and sharing stories. Bobo realized that it wasn't the size or shape of a friend that mattered, but the love and kindness they shared. He knew that, even though they were different, their friendship was a magical thing. Shimmer's light had a way of making everything around them sparkle, and Bobo felt like he was seeing the world through new eyes. They played games, discovered hidden paths, and even found a secret waterfall where they splashed and played. The bond they formed was unbreakable, a testament to the magic of true friendship. It was a reminder that friendship could bloom in the most unexpected places. Bobo thought about all the other animals he had seen that day, each with their own unique friendships. He saw a lion and a mouse sharing a meal, a bird and a tortoise playing a game of hide and seek, and even a crocodile and a deer enjoying a peaceful moment by the river. These unlikely friendships were a beautiful reminder that love and kindness knew no boundaries. And as he played a happy tune on his leaf trumpet, he knew this was just the beginning of their many adventures together. The melody he played was filled with joy and hope, echoing through the savannah and reaching the ears of all who listened. Bobo imagined all the adventures that awaited them, climbing mountains, exploring caves, and discovering new lands. With Shimmer by his side, he felt ready to face anything. The double rainbow in the sky seemed like a promise, a symbol of their special bond. As the colors of the rainbow stretched across the sky, Bobo felt a sense of peace and contentment. He knew that no matter what challenges lay ahead, their friendship would guide them through. The rainbow was a reminder that even after the darkest storms, there was always light and hope waiting on the other side. And with that thought, Bobo and Shimmer looked forward to the many beautiful tomorrows they would share together.